timed it perfectly. Morning,
Perfect.
everybody.
Perfectly. Just
Perfectly.
perfect.
Oh no.
Yes. Well, we made it on time?
What kind of?
Oh my goodness. It says 7 o'clock in the morning. Bing.
That's yeah. It
Are we
does.
not on anymore? Did we lose it?
What do you mean? Why would we lose it? We
I don't
we,
know.
we don't lose.
Dude, stuff happens all the time. It's crazy. You should have been here for Don't Worry Wednesday last night. That's...
I
There's all
saw.
kinds of stuff happening.
Uh,
The
yeah.
chat was happening.
Oh
Uh,
boy.
oh boy. Hey, at morning. That's hey, you know what? That's a really good I don't know what AM means, but that sounds perfect, Wilk.
We're gonna go with it. That's the new official definition.
Nice. Well, it's morning for us anyway.
I think so. Let me check. Yep, looks like morning. But these days, you get quarantined in here for so long, you just who knows what time it is anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. It still looks pretty dark out though. I can't really tell. I got like most of my window blocked off, but there's little gaps. Yeah, there's some light coming through. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's a double cup of Joe show. You're the
Yeah.
host, man.
Yeah, I'm the host. Sorry, I was enjoying this morning time discussion. You know, when you wake up as late as I do, it's important that you have this discussion to enliven yourself and bring yourself out of sleep. So it basically says it's ante meridium and post meridium, which, if my Latin's any good, just means before and after midday. So perfect.
Yes.
Hey, Jeff has said it too. Boom. Okay, if Jeff says it, then I'm probably right.
Yep.
Anyway, this is the Double Cup of Joe show. If you haven't been here before, I'm your host Joe,
And I'm your host, Joe.
and together we are gonna have your morning, evening, whatever the heck time it is for you, go fantastical. So
That's right.
prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves. Today, we're going through the continuation of our topic on relationships because everyone knows that in a quarantine, you need relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So, today we're going to talk about romance. And as we all know, Joe is very good at that. So, he's going to have some great stuff to tell us here a little
Oh
bit
my. Oh
later.
my.
But first, even before the romance starts, you need to start with the 3-step routine.
Yes. Especially, please start with the 3-step routine.
Because this is going to help the rest of your day. So, if this goes good, hopefully the rest of your day goes good with
Mm-hmm.
your relationships in their entirety. Everything we've been talking about this week, your attitude will affect all of the relationships we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So, spend some time. Make sure you're doing this every morning or afternoon or whatever time it is for you. But we recommend the morning because if you start your day right, the rest of your day can go right. Starting the day in this positive mindset means that your whole day can be in the positive mindset. So let's go ahead and do it. Feel free to stick along, hop along, be with us on this
Mm-hmm.
journey. 3 steps. It's a quick journey, but you
Yes, and
can,
be sure to precipitate.
yes, make it rain.
Boom.
Why are we precipitating?
Yeah, that it's
Oh,
yeah.
participating.
I,
I see what you
I
did there.
inserted the incorrect word, I think.
Brilliant.
Muhuha. But if you
Hey.
feel like precipitating, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like delaying
Oh.
because I'm with Ryan. Romance of the Three Kingdoms. It's essentially about war.
That's That love is
That
war.
can be romance right there.
Yes. That's actually an anime that just aired, I think, a season or two ago.
Oh,
But
nice.
we won't go there. So, anyway, let's start with a three-step routine. It's what are you thankful for? You come up with one or more things that you're thankful for, that you're looking forward to, and that you can do today to move your life forward. That's a three-step process every single morning.
Hmm.
Do that, you'll be ready. But we're going to go through it right now. Joe is going to give us some examples. So, Joe, start with step number one because that's how you always start generally. You don't start with step number two. Step number three would be very difficult. So, we're going to start with step number one.
One.
What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for the three-step process, and I noticed as we count, you start with your pinky and go to your ring finger and to your middle finger, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I start with my thumb, go to my first finger, and end with my middle finger. Either way, we're ending with the middle finger.
hmm.
So the
Hmm.
action step is the middle finger. Uh,
I wonder if there's a reason for that.
but I'm thankful for that process. It's kind of fun. Um, I was like, Joe counts like he's Japanese. Like I do, and he's totally talking about you,
Are you
not me.
sure? How do
Yeah,
you
because he
know?
said they start with the pinky.
Oh. I can't read.
Yeah, well, no, you just didn't read yet. That's okay. But yeah, I'm thankful for today. I'm thankful that it's Thursday. Ah, and I'm also thankful that it's Thursday of Holy Week. So for all of you who are Christians out there, today is it's the very first communion ever in history was today. However many years ago, what 1900 and 1987 years ago ish.
180. Wait, what?
1987 years
Oh,
ago.
okay. I was gonna say. I'm like only 100 years
Today
ago.
was the first communion ever. So that's pretty exciting stuff. But yeah, so I'm excited for commemorations. I'm excited for, thankful for that. I'm thankful for that it's Thursday in the week. We got, and tomorrow's free for all Friday. I mean, oh, it's, yeah, amazing. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much to be thankful for. I can't even keep track. And that's all residing on my thumb or your pinky.
Whoa. Your thumb can hold a lot.
Oh, yep.
So,
So you can
thanks.
wash your hands and you can wash other people's feet today because that way your faces will be far enough apart. You can maintain 6 foot. Well, maybe not. Depends on how tall somebody is.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, there's probably not going to be doing much foot washing of other people's feet today. Hopefully,
Yeah, yeah.
but that's okay. That's what
No,
I'm
I mean,
thankful for. What about you guys?
yep. What do you guys think? What's thankfulness for you?
Hmm.
Because there's a lot. There's a lot that you guys can be thankful for, even if maybe it's just coming to hang out with us.
Hmm.
Ooh, digital school break. That's exciting.
Yes. I think my kids are in digital spring break right now. It's tough to tell though.
uh, I keep seeing the videos of all the parents who are like, ah, how do people live with these small things all day?
Interestingly enough, the teachers are in the same boat. But my wife works at the school, so she is in contact with all these teachers all the time, right? And they're freaking out too. Like they don't even know how to teach their own kids. Like they know how to teach classrooms full of other people's kids. But when it comes to just like teaching their own kids and that's it, like lost.
That's hilarious.
Oh yes.
Nice.
Static's thankful for the leaves. They're pretty cool and they make good drinks. They do. You know what makes better drinks is beans.
I wonder what he could be referencing.
Mm,
What are all these drinks?
yes.
Hmm.
Anna, welcome. I think this is the first time we've seen Anna on Double Cup of Joe show.
Yeah. Welcome.
Welcome.
Good morning. Evening.
Warm welcome to the morning show. You're awake. We're awake too, at least partially.
Other Joe's awake. I'm actually sleep talking
I'm
without the
I'm
walking.
That's I gotta stand up or else I'll just be like bleh. So I gotta hand it to you, Joe. You can do this show and sit down.
And sit down. Talent.
Yes, that's another thing I'm thankful for.
What, standing?
No, you.
Oh. Yay. I'm
Because
think
you're here, man. You can do this show and sit down at the same time.
um
That's impressive.
almost as impressive as you doing the show and standing up.
Well, if I
Oh.
stand up, I'm less likely to fall asleep. If I stand up, then if I fall asleep, I'll fall over. So it's extra incentive.
The looming threat of smacking your head on the floor when you
That's
fall
right. That's
is a
right.
great awakening tool.
Yep. I heard a guy who was counseling, like somebody was talking about how, man, I just can't read. I can't read books because anytime I open a book, I just fall asleep. He's like, well, read standing up. if you, because if you fall, you'll learn quick not to fall asleep.
Hmm. Very quick.
Yes.
All right.
So anyway,
Well, that's what we're thankful for. Go ahead and be thankful for something today. That's step number one.
number one.
Step number two now. We've looked back. Now we must look forward. And looking forward involves asking yourself, what are you looking forward to? What is there? What's ahead of
That's the
us?
forward direction,
Yes.
or maybe the
Oh, I was just going to look this way.
no.
Whoa, there's people there.
Ah.
Oh. Anyway, so, Joe, I'm going to go ahead and ask you, what are you looking forward to?
I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to doing a stream with Tef someday. He says he's looking forward to that fall. Uh, like, wow. Ah, I don't know so much about that. No, I'm looking forward to today's conference call day for Black Static and Swerve actually. So we have a staff conference call on Thursdays. I'm looking forward to that because we have so many things to talk about, and yeah, it's exciting over here. We've got a lot going on, and we're trying to put together as many things as possible on short notice. And oh man, that would be it's going to be an amazing discussion. We try and limit them to 90 minutes. These days, they kind of usually go over a little bit, much to everyone's disappointment.
Oh, oof, I have to hang out with these cool people
Like,
longer.
ugh, it's got to end. Got to end at 90 minutes. Who runs the meetings? Jeff. Jeff keeps our track of our time. But yeah, Static's right. I don't think we've been able to do that more than once. We did it one time. We held ourselves to that one time, and we were like, okay, yeah, 90 minutes. We're done. Hey, we made it. And then it's like after that, nope. We just roll and roll and roll.
Yeah, if you couldn't figure out by this stream here, distractions are easy to come by.
Yes, they are.
But they're fun.
They are. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm also looking forward to the next single dual release. I actually put that
Ooh.
on my uh like my short term visions list or whatever. I was like, okay, because the next single dual release is going to be all instrumental, and I'm super excited for that. To work with Steve, and do all this stuff remotely. He lives about probably about 75 miles away or something like that. But we're gonna do a project together. Uh, anyway, and it's fun. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Hopefully in the next few weeks.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, and that's a good point. Like right now, if you're out there doing, whatever, you're on break, you're working or doing school remotely, like you can still work on projects with people. Now's a great
Mhm.
time to figure out how to do things with people who aren't near you because, man, there's lots of cool things that you have time to do right now.
Mm.
So go for it. So
Yes.
thanks for sharing, Joe. That's really cool. I am excited to hear. My ears will be very joyous to hear whatever you bring forth. So.
Me too. Mine too. Yes. Must be morning.
Yes, I think so. Wait, so
I'm going
one,
on a run. We gotta go.
we're running? Where are we running to?
I don't know. You can sit down and run?
Yeah,
Oh,
turns out, yeah.
you are so skilled.
It turns out I'm just a lot shorter than you think I am.
Oh. Your little legs.
Yeah, this isn't even a chair. It's just like a backstop. I'm standing. I'm self-conscious about my height, so I just put this backrest here to make it look like I have a chair.
Man, you're good. You're so talented. Oh, God, can't even believe it.
The other reason I'm talented is I can count because I think we're through two of our three steps.
I would hope so, being an accountant and all.
Yep. One, two, which means next comes three. Ha!
3.
Boom. And you can trust that we're on three because I'm an accountant. I do the counting.
You do the counting. You're so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Step number three is what are you going to do today to move yourself forward? So, Joe, I'm going to kick it back to you because all I can do is count, which means you're going to actually have to answer the question.
Oh, well, all right.
So,
Uh, today, ah, I'm gonna do my best. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do again like I did the other day,
hmm,
and make a public commitment with you guys right here now on the live stream that I will open up the song project I'm working on and work on it. Because I've got a big inspections day today. I still do property inspections, and we haven't been locked out of the field. I still got to go out and do that job. And then we also, so in there, I've got my inspections day, and then I've got exercise time, and then I've got martial arts, and then I've got uh, the Black Static and Swerve conference call because it's Thursday, and somewhere in there, I'm going to open up that project and I'm going to work on it, even if it's only for a few minutes. I'm going to do it. I promise. So that's one thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to work on the next song for the single dual instrumental album. Yes, that's
nice.
what I'm going to do. What about you? What are you going to do today?
What am I going to do today? Hmm. Probably do some counting.
Yeah,
Two, three, four. Oh, that's the most I've
let's
counted
not
to on
get
this
crazy.
show.
Let's not get crazy.
I
I'm a drummer. I can count to 4.
think there's a number that
That's
comes
it.
after four, but
I can't count. Yeah, everything else is in combinations of 3s and 2s.
ooh, music, a whole nother language.
It is. We get to 4, and that's like the limit.
Maxed. Oh no.
Those of you who are also musicians, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I don't. I don't know what else I'm looking forward to today, actually, because I have such
Well,
an open. Or what I'm
we're
gonna
not worried
do? What
about
am I
looking
gonna do?
forward.
I'm
We're not
gonna.
even looking forward to anything
Well,
anymore. We're
well,
just
well, if I want to do something today, I have to know what I'm looking forward to. There's a reason there's steps, and not like you can just do three things.
oh,
So like
I gotcha.
if I don't have a direction, step number three is just kind of pointless. That's not necessarily true. We're just talking about moving yourself forward in any way. So that could be learning. Like
That's right.
today, I could be going to read a boatload of stuff on the new law that just passed that's affecting everyone in my country, the US, which is probably what I'm going to do. But
Yeah. Yeah. The conductor says, "All right, start from Q14." What? What? What is a 14? It's like I remember seeing for the first time 6-8 time signature. I was like, "What is that?" I gotta count to six, and then I sight read a 9-8 time signature, and that I failed miserably. Yeah.
The 1 1/8 time signature? I don't. One of us does music and the other one does not, and I'll let you
I
figure
know.
out.
You're like, I don't know what you're talking about. You are, well, I don't know.
Mind
Yeah.
blown.
Well, so but it's interesting because s- so you got 6 beats, right? And 6 8. That's the number on top is how many beats you have in a measure. So okay, but that's broken down into threes. You break it down into 1 2 3, 1 2 3, like 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3. So it's in groups of threes, right? You would think I would have known that for 9 8. It would just be like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So it's still three.
Where's the eight come in?
Oh, that's what note gets one count. So an eighth note is your one beat note in there. You got to understand notes. I know. Sorry, Joe. You're like, I don't know what this even is. Yes. But anyway, we totally derailed the 3-step process again for 2 days in a row. And we just lost a viewer. And it was Joe.
It was me. I was the one that was lost.
You're like, I'm lost, man.
We derailed my train of thought.
Yeah.
Uh,
You almost derailed me when you're talking about new laws that our country just passed. I'm like, I don't know about that.
There's so many.
It's so great. I love doing this show because we're so different in lots of ways. But we're but here we are. We're both named Joe.
Yep. We both have. Well,
We have
I don't have
mugs.
Joe, but we have mugs. Anyway.
You don't know what's in mine. That's why I purposefully have a dark mug so I can put anything in there I want.
But speaking of different segue, um, we have our topic today, which is romance, and so we all know that
Can we
Joe
talk
over
about
here.
something else for a while?
Nope, nope, Joe.
Ah,
We've committed to this.
ah.
Oh, I remember
All
the
right.
thing I was gonna do today though. I was gonna research our topic for Free for All Friday.
Oh yeah, we got to do that. Oh my gosh, don't forget that. That's a daunting task right there. Actually, I better put that in my to-do list right now.
um, but anyway, speaking of how different we are, look at the very um, attractive man that we have here. That is Joe. The way that he uses his computer to keep notes and things. Um, his suave character really lends itself to discussing today's topic. So, Joe, go ahead and take away your romantic relationships discussion.
Ah, excuse me. Always, always start always start romantic interactions with bodily functions if you can. Uh, it's the true test of is this person gonna stick with you? No, um, I tell you, one of the things that's interesting about romance is I am very excited to see. We're all quarantined right now, right? We're stuck with our families. I predict that about 9 months from now, there's going to be a baby boom. So right now, our hospitals are full of coronavirus infected people. In less than a year, hospitals will be full again in the birth giving department. What do they call that? Uh, Delivery or something? I don't remember. It's been a while. It's my youngest child is 8, so
That's
been a
young.
while.
That's only 8 years ago.
I know. I don't even remember what it's called. There's a whole like department. It's not neonatal. It's something. I don't know what it is. The baby having department. Whatever.
It's short.
It's too short. No. Uh, yes. Well, at any rate, so romance. It's one of those crazy things because when we have romantic feelings towards somebody, right? We get all these funny, goofy feelings inside. We're like, oh my gosh, and then we're blind to all their faults. Like we see this person and we're just like, oh, I really want to spend lots of time with them, and then they have all these faults, and we don't even think about those. We don't even think to look. And then we're just like, oh my gosh, so amazing, so amazing. And then, the closer you get to someone, you start to see their quirks and their faults, and you love them anyway. I've heard people talk about, in marriage counseling stuff, it's like, yeah, my wife was blind for a season, and then we had this lifelong commitment thrown in there, and then, now we're stuck with each other, and then it was like, ah, whatever, and then it truly becomes like Static was talking about the romance of war. You know?
The romance of war.
But I remember hearing a guy talk, and he said the secret to marriage, I mean, if we're going to talk about romance, you got to talk about all the aspects, right? Now, Joe and I are both married, and he's like, well, Joe, you've been married longer than me, so you should know more about romance. I'm like, I think I just know more about endurance, because really, that's what I mean. Romance is one thing. Like people think of romance, they think about, how are you wooing somebody? And there is an aspect to that for sure. Because how do you woo someone? How do you show someone that you love them? How do you show someone you care and that you're going to stick with them, right? But then also there's the enduring of pain. Because when we throw two imperfect people in a relationship together and they make a commitment to stick with each other forever, or for the rest of their lives, like we're gonna hurt each other. They got married. My father-in-law's kind of offered me this little, kind of tongue-in-cheek threat. He's like, well, you better not hurt her. I'm like, I'm just gonna cash it in right now then. 'Cause, like, I'm going to, I'm going to hurt this person and she's gonna hurt me. It's inevitable. And so then, as Ryan talks about on Don't Worry Wednesdays, and he's talked to me on numerous occasions about forgiveness and grace, all that stuff comes in. And what happens as a result of grace and forgiveness and going through the process of of repenting when you do something to hurt another person, all that creates a much stronger and more fruitful bond than you ever could have had before. So with romance, we've got all these different aspects, and it's really like when I think about it, I just think of a very close, committed relationship because you're courting, you're wooing, you're doing this, you're going through that phase of learning each other, and there's physical attraction, and then there's mental and emotional attraction, and then becomes attachment, and it would really hurt, like a lot of times, any type of betrayal hurts a lot more in a romantic relationship than it does in a friendship a lot of times. And yeah, it it gets it's a very touchy subject, and I'm scared of it, and I'm kind of upset with Joe that he got to host today, and I had to talk about it first. So I'm gonna turn it over to you. Uh,
Perfect.
so
Thanks,
you
Joe.
can talk about it
That's
because
good.
I'll just lay some foundational stuff. You can talk about it, and
There you go. Perfect.
yeah.
Just be very nondescript. That's what I always do for the intros. I'm just gonna like, this is the topic we're gonna talk about. Joe, actually talk about the topic we're gonna talk about. It's brilliant. That's how you should do it. So, thanks for laying the groundwork for us, Joe.
You're welcome.
Um,
What I do.
I'm a little bit different in maybe the way that I approach uh, the idea of romance. Most people, if you've watched any type of romantic movie, um, don't like those. I think those are bad examples of romance.
Yes, I
Um,
agree.
really, truly the worst. So don't get your idea of romance from any romance movies. You need to get your romance ideas from like the 80-year-old married couple
Hmm.
who's just been with it for a long time. Plus, they probably have some good advice. So, and just don't do it right now because social distancing.
Right. If you're gonna do it on Skype, but none of them know how to use Skype. You might have to call them on their landline phone.
If anyone knows what those still are, don't text. You can't text their landline. I'm sorry.
That's right.
But anyway, yeah, don't look at your movies for romance advice. For me, I've always held this idea of we've talked about this before, but we've gone different levels of relationship. If you haven't noticed, we've gone from acquaintances to family, or sorry, acquaintances to friends, through family and next, because relationships or this relation romance kind of brings, especially if you get married, people from the friend realm into the family realm, and it kind of splits there. And so in the hierarchy, we're kind of like, all right, we explained the three main relationships, and now we're explaining what changes your hopefully friendships into your family ships. Um, and that's I hope that is where you develop your romantic relationships from.
Mhm.
I don't advise just changing acquaintances into your relationships. You don't know somebody very well. Like yes, going on a date is a fantastic way to get to know someone, but you could also get to know somebody by doing something not, romantically inclined, such as, hanging out with friends together or playing video games online together or, you know, having a group Skype call. Like you can learn all these things and get to know people without having this romantic relationship like kind of cloud over over your interaction. Like you don't have to have that. And I think that it's very easy to watch your romantic movies and go, oh yes, the one is just gonna show up here at a random place that I'm at, and it's just gonna work. And that's just not very realistic. Raka says share pizza. Yeah, share pizza with some friends. Like whatever it takes to get to know somebody and bring them into that friend realm because then hey, is this person somebody I can stick with for a long time? Because like Joe and I are talking about, like, and Ryan has discussed apparently, love is war. It's not necessarily clean. It's not necessarily um, easy all the time. Is it good? Yes, it's great. It's the best thing that there is. That doesn't mean it's easy. That doesn't mean it's um, not going to have its challenges. So having that foundational, like, I like this person even without the romantic attachment, makes it that much easier to deal with the things that go wrong. Because you already know. If you already know somebody and then you invest in a romantic relationship, you have determined, oh, these are the things that are wrong with this person before I get involved, so that you don't come in with any ill-conceived notions of like Joe was talking about, where he pulled the wool over his wife's eyes. I don't think that's the way he worded it, but um,
She did not know what she was getting into.
I did the same thing.
And all of a sudden she wakes up and she looks over and she's like, "What is that?"
Who are you? But
What
it's
is that smell?
which gets us in this idea of like when we're kind of old fashioned guys of like it's we go, hey, acquaintances, friends, like your romantic relationships end up with you getting married, like, and then you live with that person, and chances are you didn't know some things about them before you lived with them, like laundry. Joe doesn't do laundry on a regular basis.
Yes, I do.
Not you.
Oh, yeah.
Dang it. See, I speak in third person a lot. And
Yes.
that gets really confusing on this show, in case
It
anyone didn't
does.
know yet.
I'm
But
very confused already.
I don't I used to go like, oh, I have enough outfits for 2 weeks, which means I'm not gonna do laundry for 2 weeks. Like that just seemed like a logical thing to me.
Yeah.
Apparently that's
Otherwise,
not
you mess up the whole clothing rotation.
right. I don't get it, but that's kind of the thing of like there will be some things you don't know about somebody till you get to that um, living with them. But that's why you want to know a lot about somebody before you invest in a romantic relationship, because, like Joe said, these are extra painful. Like when something bad happens in a romantic relationship, it hurts a lot more than in all your other relationships. So knowing what you're getting into in the beginning is a grand idea. Um, so that's what I have for now. I'm gonna turn it back to Joe because I see his gears turning, his mind doing things. So I'm gonna let those things come out. So go ahead, Joe. Tell us
My
more.
brain may be passing gas.
I like Raka's idea,
Oh
please.
my gosh, that'd be great.
I don't
Well,
know if
one
Joe could
thing
do that.
Joe could not do that. And by Joe, I mean me. Because I'd be so confused. I would confuse myself a ton. Um, but I think what one of the things that I was just, as you were talking and it brought this to mind. I mean, the thing about any type of romantic relationship, the temptation is because being around this person and being involved with this person gives us good feelings. And so the temptation is that I'm in this relationship for the way it makes me feel. And it becomes all about me and my feelings and my what I'm getting from this relationship. That's why it's so good. It's so good because I'm getting all these good feelings and this person's great to be around because I feel good when I'm around them. And so this person makes me feel good and it you know there are different levels of that obviously and it's like okay, and that becomes what romance is about. And I think, and when Joe talks about the romantic movies, that's what is spotlighted. It's like we have these two individuals and they're together because he makes her feel good and she makes him feel good. And so they're together because of that. And then as soon as somebody stops making the other person feel good, oh, it's this big problem and, and everything, right? So I want to switch. I want to throw a monkey wrench in that concept, like a big fat one, because that is so wrong. That takes something beautiful like romance and turns it into a selfish, self-gratifying, you know, very damaging thing because it just turns us inward on ourselves. When real, true romance, true romantic love is an absolute sacrifice of oneself. I remember hearing a priest talking about this, and he says this at weddings. He's like, "Okay, as soon as somebody says their marriage vow, they die, and then the other person, they say their marriage vows, and they die, and then what happens is those two dead people are resurrected as one." And the key part of that is like, yeah, like my life for myself is now over. And this is in marriage, right? So, but you can apply it to romance because you're living for another person. You're living to serve another person. And when you can take your focus off of yourself, focus on your your person of romantic interest, I should say, and your whole focus then becomes how do I do what's best for this other person? A couple things happen. One is you will feel a lot better because you're not living so selfishly. And living selfishly is the cause of so many problems. I mean, any of you who have watched Don't Worry Wednesday, you know, Ryan and I talk about this constantly. Um, an obsessive self focus is one of the most damaging things to us, and it leads to so many internal problems, depression and sadness and pain and all kinds of stuff, right? But when you shift your focus away from yourself, put it on others, and in this case you're starting to focus more directly on one person to try and do whatever you can to make your life together better, then your relationship takes on a whole new dimension. And you personally, you're free from yourself, which is a beautiful thing. Because then it's like, I'm not beholden to my personal desires. Now, this is not something that happens all at once. And it's not something that happens in a month. Like, this takes a lifetime to master. And even then, I doubt many of us ever really truly master it. But it's something to work toward. And it's something that will never make you bored. And it's something that as your life progresses, it'll keep things very interesting for you if you can remain focused on the death of self and the life of, integrating with another person and working together with them. And, that's what can make a romantic relationship very, very fruitful. And so, yeah, when you saw the wheels spinning, that's what was going through my mind. So
Oh,
hopefully I didn't bore you guys to death with that.
nope. No, thanks for that, Joe. I mean, the relationships of any kind, but especially romance, involve self-sacrifice. One of the things, as the counter, because Joe and I are different, uh, we have different um, takes on it, and for a certain level, Joe's talking about like both of you dying and then coming back as one. And one of the important things to recognize here is, especially in the way that we're talking about marriage, is it's a religious kind of institution. It's a God honoring act that you do. And it's important that even though you die to yourself, the you don't sacrifice one party for the benefit of one party. So as important as it is of, hey, dying to yourself and living and serving this other person, there is a level of the other person has to do the same,
Mm.
because 100% one way and 0% the other way is fine, and it'll happen in your relationships. It's not always going to be a 50-50 split of, well, this person brings that person joy and that person brings this person joy, like Joe says. That at one point that's going to break down. And to be prepared for that, because it doesn't matter how good your relationship is. I've never seen any relationship where it's always, oh yeah, they bring each other joy all the time perfectly 50-50. It's great. If you find one of those relationships, we need you to catch it, bring it into the lab for research. We need to see how that works so that we can possibly replicate it in the future. But I doubt you're going to find something like that. Probably because it's scientifically impossible. Um, but instead, understanding that the amount that each side is putting in changes. And yes, Henry, we are both called Joe. It changes. So, one week, if Nat, my wife, is really sick for a week, like I'm not there to I'm gonna be there to help her and put in more than she's gonna be able to do because she's sick. Like I'm not. It's not gonna be as fun. Like it's not gonna be as joyous necessarily, but it's meaningful and loving interaction that you need to have towards your spouse, towards your significant other, towards your friends. And I think by not separating that out, I do want to remind everyone that like your relationships generally are going to be the same. How you treat people really shouldn't change. Like the interactions that you have probably should. You should not, do some things without your spouse that you do with your spouse. That should change. But apart from that, the way that you treat people shouldn't substantially change. So that's all I had, Joe, because it was a good point. I like the idea of dying to yourself, but I did want to mention that like relationships are a two-way street. If you ever have a one-way street relationship, probably don't want to engage that person as a romantic interest.
Yeah, you may not want to if that becomes the case, then you may not want to pursue the legal connection of marriage, which then can lend itself to many legal difficulties. But yes, so be very, very careful in romance. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing, as we've stated before. And yeah, I mean this is a it's a touchy topic, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm gonna say. Hopefully it's good. We're gonna find out. But it can be definitely it's not an easy path. It's wonderful. It feels great. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing where two people can serve each other and bring out what's best in each other. And maybe children come from that. And so new life is born out of that, which that is a beautiful thing in and of itself. I mean, the way we were created. It blows my mind that we were created in a way that one of the most loving, intimate things that we can do brings forth new life. That to me, that's incredible to me. Like that, like that's how things were designed. Um, so I mean, that's a whole nother topic that we don't have time to get into. However, when you're dealing with this, just remember it's not about what you get, but it's about what you're giving. It's about living to serve. And not just serve the other person for this other person's sake, but living to serve together, which is where Joe's getting into this. It's not just 100% one way and 0% the other way, because that just leads to a lot of issues. It's like both people have to be involved, right? And we're never going to get it perfect. And that's why forgiveness and grace and charity all come into play. But with all that said, it's a beautiful thing, a wonderful thing. And, it's going to take some effort, but I think every single one of you has within you the capacity to do it. And hopefully some of what we said, you can grab a nugget or two out of that, and it can make a difference for you. Um, but yeah, like I said, I was dreading this topic a little bit because I'm like, oh my god, the scary one. And then Joe made the schedule. He's like, yeah, you're gonna talk first about this, and I'm like, oh, good.
Got him. So
Joe made the schedule. I was not talking about the third person in that. I was talking about this guy right now.
But yeah, I mean that's great stuff, Joe. And this topic is massive. In case you hadn't gathered that already, there's so much that goes into your romantic relationship that takes from so many different parts of your life. And I hope that you come back and join us for our topics that we continue to discuss. I'm planning the schedule, I guess. So I guess next week we're going to talk about serving because that's a big portion of relationships. That's a big portion of everything that you will do in life is serving other people. And so come back, join us as we discuss the different things that go into these relationships. We've talked about acquaintances, family, friends, and romantic relationships. They all involve these characteristics of serving, of giving, of forgiving, and those are huge topics that I think are going to take us a while to get through. So rather than try and get through them all today, come back again. Well, tomorrow's Free for All Friday.
It
Come
is.
back for that. We're going to talk about numbers. I think it's numerology, but the study numbers, how it uh, interacts with. I think the Bible story was how my Gary asked it.
Yeah, my Gary was asking about the 666, the mark of the beast, and he threw in a whole bunch of other curveballs about numerology and everything in there. It's like, whoa, that's pretty intense stuff. I'm gonna have to do some research first. And then that was a couple weeks ago. Where it's like, hey, we got to do some research first. And now here it's tomorrow, and still got to do some research first. And it's like, well, here we are. We're gonna see how this goes. I'm just gonna wing it. See what
Mhm.
happens.
And in case anyone hadn't figured it out already, we're giving you the best advice that we can. But we're not professionals in every aspect of every one of the things we talk about.
That's right.
Um, I I am pretty good with the numbers, but just not in the aspect we're talking about. So it's important to keep that in mind as we discuss these topics.
Yes.
Don't attribute us as professionals, please.
You're a
But
professional, good-looking guy. That's for sure.
Joe is a professional, good-looking guy.
Joe is. Yes. So if you want to hear us talk about something, if you have a topic, go here. It's also in the description. There's a link in the description, and I'll put it there in the chat for you as well. You can go there and tell anything because free for all Friday. It's free for all. Like, hey, we don't know. We're just gonna go with the topics that have been shared with us, and we're gonna see where it goes. You could try and stump us if you
Mm-hmm.
want. You can make something really awkward and watch us sweat if you want. Whatever. Anything that you think would be fun to hear us talk about, we would love to. And just so go ahead and post it there. Also later today, let me find this link actually. Later today, there's a Twitch stream, the BSS
Ooh.
Twitch stream. You can go to Twitch and go there, and that link in the chat. and you can subscribe and get notifications, follow them, and you can have a really good time watching whatever game they're playing. That's the gaming stream. Jesse and Ryan will be on there along with Princess and I believe Katsrook. I believe the four of them today will be on, and they have a really good time. I'm hoping I can stop in there, but as I stated earlier in the show, my day is a little bit full, and I got a lot of commitments. So we're gonna see how that all works out. But yeah, definitely go there and hang out. It's gonna be a blast.
Perfect. Thanks, Joe.
Mhm.
Yeah, be involved in our community. We love to see you guys. We love having you here, interacting in the chat. Um, don't feel like throughout the discussion. So generally everyone likes to talk during our 3-step process in the intro. Feel free to connect with us and talk with us while we discuss the topics, because maybe there's something that you want to understand about the topic we're discussing. In case you hadn't noticed, Joe and I are different. That doesn't mean we encompass all of the ideas that hit the topics we're discussing. If you have a specific question or something you want to understand, drop in the chat, because we won't know what's going through your head unless you tell us.
That's right.
Both of our mind reading powers are currently down. They're in the repair shop. Our mind readers, as they were. So,
I never had one of those. I don't know about you.
uh,
Joe never
you
had one.
corporate gave me one. Sorry.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we didn't tell you. I
That's
forgot.
it.
I forgot to
I'm
tell
going back to corporate. I'm gonna be like,
you.
listen,
We'll try to put that second one in the budget.
be like, hey, the accounting department needs to account for me having a mind reading apparatus implanted in
My
my brain.
apparatus. Oh, Joe, if you don't even know what the apparatus is like, it doesn't matter. You don't need one.
Okay. I am sans mind reading.
Yep. So feel free to drop it in the chat. We love to interact with you. We love just being able to reach reach out to the different people in the chat for good times, for some laughs, and also to help you understand the answer to your question. So thank you all for being here. Please, like Joe said, click our link. Go catch up with Jesse and Ryan, Cats and Princess, for their Twitch stream. It's a lot of fun. They're playing through like 9 levels of parchment or something like that.
Oh,
I don't know. Static could
is that
tell
what
you.
they were playing last time?
That's what they were playing last time. Maybe it's Dungeons and Dragons today. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. You never know what you're gonna get, but it's enjoyable. It's great for some good laughs,
Hmm.
and it's just a great time in general. So hang out with us. We love hanging out with you. Be back here tomorrow for Free for All Friday, and
Hmm.
then next Monday we'll start on our topic of serving. So with all that, have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we love you guys. Catch y'all
Yes.
later.
Later, guys.
Bye.